Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Identity Koimonogatari. Tonight we're on episode F5. So, what happened on the last episode? Let me put the boom, get the comments on the screen. So, the strat today is, we're gonna do a little comment scroll. We're gonna do a little recap of the last episode. We're gonna scroll through the last episode, blah, blah, blah. We're also going to look a little bit at some of the previous episodes. I have Nise 1, Nise 2, and Otori 1 pulled up. I've already spent time, like, rewatching those chunks. I was pretty much just rewatching for Sengoku chunks. And then there's also a good Hachikuji chunk I just want to point at. But, yeah, so that's the strat. That's the plan for the day. The little mini baby recap I'll give at the start is, last episode, Kaiki was showering. Kaiki thought that somebody snuck in his room and did this elaborate scheme and was super OP to give him the, like, stay away, like, leave the case letter, or whatever it said, like, stay out of it or whatnot. But really, like, it was just probably someone sliding it under the door, because your man do be kind of losing it. And then, HANEKAWA showed up, which is kind of the biggest deal. Love my girl, HANEKAWA. And, pretty much rolled and smoked Kaiki in the conversation. Like I feel like we can agree on that, right? She's literally staring at him. He's getting kind of flustered and staring away. Flustered is maybe a strong word, but he doesn't have, like, he's not able to kind of return that and, like, do the stare fight. So, you know, he looks away and kind of, like, acquiesces in that way. And then, you know, he kind of tries to question her a bit, and then she just says, like, not gonna answer that. And he's like, okay, guess some things aren't worth answering, you know? It's just over and over, he kind of loses the conversation. Or at least isn't the one controlling it. Which, I mean, he was kind of controlling it with Senjugahara, right? So it's very interesting that HANEKAWA walks in and is the one to be so self-secured in who she is that she's the one to be able to kind of, like, I don't know, make Kaiki not win. You're right, because he do be kind of a conner, right? He's good at manipulating his way through those. But HANEKAWA is just so boom that you can't really talk your way, you know, and, like, pressure your way to win that. But yeah. I do appreciate the most dedicated anime reactor comment. Is it the suit? It's probably the suit. Very nice though. HANEKAWA was the best indeed. Her different demeanors, very amazing. She really had a growth. Like, out of everyone, I think the most. I might even say, at least at this point. I'll save some of that talk for the tier list though. And yeah, truly the best goat/cat for real. Which is like, man, I'm still stuck on that I swear on the cat line. What a fire line, man. That's like, I swear on my character development. I swear on everything I've gone through, right? Like, that's even more powerful than anything else she could have said. Suited up for Kaiki, you know I had to do him, right? You know I had to. I would have done it again. I actually thought about doing it again, but if we do it every time, then it loses its value, you know? You can only punch someone in the gut so many times before they stop feeling the pain. I did not like that analogy. Okay. Whoa. We are drinking Dr. Pepper cream soda, by the way. Let me take a breath. Let's relax. Pop this open. Oh yeah. Take a sip. Mm-hmm. We can both have a sip. Okay. So yeah. Kaiki in the shower, pink in the suit, HANEKAWA being too cute, too much for a single video. Exactly. Some of this stuff is fun too. So this was about what's in the closet. That's why I was looking through those past episodes. I still don't know. This makes me think that, like, are so well blended into the regular convo that you just won't notice it. This makes me think that it was said offhand, or shown very offhand. In before, it's just the game of life board, because she wants to have a life with Araragi, but then she's given up on it, so she split the board in half to illustrate how she no longer wants life with Araragi, she wants death with Araragi. Well, but that's not, like, the thing about whatever's in the closet, and we'll see this when I pull up Nise 2, I think it is she didn't want Araragi to see it back when she invited him over. So whatever's in the closet is either something she's had the entire time in there that's been a hidden thing, or it was post-Bake, or that's it, right? Because it was already a thing that she was hiding in Nise. So it's not like a new development, like, you know? It's not like Araragi's cut off arm. Yo, that would be crazy. Imagine that, like, Kizu something, like some body part that Araragi lost. I mean, I'm pretty sure they disappear into steam, but that would like there's like a small part of it like, oh, that would almost make sense that she has like a spare Araragi arm just chilling in there. That would be really funny. And yeah, this is just examples of the really crazy foreshadowing in the show. It's not gonna be in your face or easily guessable. Kek W, don't underestimate Monogatari. That's the crazy thing. But they literally, like, it is in your face, but that's what makes it so hard, because everything's in your face, so nothing's in your face, and so you have no idea what's important that's in your face. Like, it's all just given to you in, like, an endless deluge, you know? The dam breaks and just washes over you, but, like, there's gold nuggets all over the water, and so you're just trying to grab as many as you can. The Kaiki tunnel vision do be insane. The comment saying its inverse applies as well. See if you can derive something from this fact. What? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Are you saying, like, because, like, there's, like, a couple different ways we can try to spin that, right? We could try to say that, like, Kaiki is getting tunnel vision with this mission. We could even say that Kaiki has tunnel vision when it comes to Kanbaru's mom, and because that's why he's even here in the first place. That would be kind of a fair way to spin it. But we could say I would agree that he's kind of has a tunnel vision that's causing him to be extra paranoid and losing it a little bit. And yeah, he's not the most stable. Like, he's definitely got some issues in his head, and there's some stuff in here that's fun that we'll hopefully get to in a second. But like, its inverse applies as well. So that's making me think, like, okay, tunnel vision's when we lock in too hard and then we miss the bigger picture, right? So the inverse would be where someone is so focused on the bigger picture, maybe referring to myself, that we're missing something that's more simple in your face, right? So yeah, who is doing that and how and why? I don't know. And then this drives me insane, but I kind of love it. Of the whole, apparently, like, there was a comment in Hana episode 1 that was, at one point, you said the ending the whole series is an offhand comment. There's absolutely no way you would have known that. I literally am trying so hard to go through my memory to figure out what it is. I have no idea. I've said so many comments offhand. I don't even know anymore. Like the Araragi arm in the closet thing. Like, oh, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. Shout out the dog per usual. Something, well, I don't know. I'll keep this in mind. Hopefully I can, like, giga brain something in a minute. Kaiki's technically confirmed waifu? Agreed. Kogorashi's a term for wintry breeze. Kogarashi sentiment, best OP for real. Wintry breeze. You know what's funny about the OP, now that I think about it, with this kind of being like a what inspired the thought. If I remember right, and we'll watch it when we watch the episode, it's like a beach thing, right? Like Nadeko or Senjugahara's wearing the like sundress and like a sun hat, if that's the right term. It's like a beach, you know. It felt more like, you know, Kaiki's wearing short sleeves. So for that to be called wintry breeze, and for it to be winter time, right? Because it's like New Year's time in the actual arc, it's interesting. It kind of puts like a fun, like, reminiscing over the summer that it used to be better, but now it's winter, so now things have gotten colder. Like, it used to be warm, and it used to be like, it used to be summertime, but now it's winter. It's kind of that vibe. Yeah. And then this is some fun OP lyric analysis that I agree with. I like that. I think it's about Nadeko or Kaiki, unattainable moment like an unrequited love. Toei in the car accident, Araragi with Senjo. Unspoken words like they never confessed their love, I think. I would agree. And I like these as well. It is just so, like, amazing to me that we really could make comparisons for both the OPs for all four of the relationships of Araragi Senjo, Araragi Sengoku, Kaiki Gaen, and Kaiki Senjo. Specifically with Araragi, the latter three, I don't need to repeat, the latter three being unrequited loves, because, you know, Araragi and Senjo are in a relationship, but these other three are specifically in a, like, want to love relationship, and Araragi Nadeko and Kaiki Gaen is even more similar with the whole Kaiki is in love with Gaen still, and she's dead, and then Nadeko wants to kill Araragi, and that's like the insane thing. That's why she's so crazy. But that's literally what Kaiki's doing with Gaen, right? He's not moving on with his past love. And so for Nadeko to want to be in that spot and for her to want to be in that, like, in that situation that Kaiki is in, and then we think she's crazy and everyone's trying to stop her. I mean, that's kind of forcing Kaiki to be like, dang, maybe I'm kind of crazy, you know? Like, that's forcing him to deal with that. And then the Kaiki Senjugahara thing is, I mean, kind of a tie into that as well, where there's feelings there, right? I mean, Senjo's the one that Kaiki's calling when he's lonely, because I do think he's lonely, and his relationship with Senjo, I think, is one of the few human relationships he has, and he had a chance, to maybe manipulate her into a relationship, or just to fall into a relationship with her, however inappropriate that may have been, but that didn't happen in the past, right? Note the karaoke like singing in the 80s theme? Yeah, and the 80s theme is like the thing in the past, like daydreaming and nostalgia kind of thing. Karaoke like singing, do you just kind of mean like they're like inserting themselves into the past kind of thing? I'm not sure exactly what karaoke like singing, but the 80s theme for sure, it kind of lines up with all that. Finally finished the series. Congratulations. Soon I will be joining you in, like 6 months? It's crazy. I actually looked at it the other day. We started, I don't know exactly when we started, I didn't check, but the Discord forum for Monogatari that I put it up on October 10th last year. And now it's, June? What is it? June? Yeah, it's June 15th when I'm recording this. So, that's just crazy. Like, it's been like 8 months. Like, I think we're gonna have a full year of Monogatari. Like, there's gonna be I'm gonna have to, actually, like, it'll be like a year, there's gonna be a year anniversary, that's the word I'm looking for, of the Monogatari watching, which is really, I don't know, that's really fun. It also just hit me now that Kaiki's drawings look like the ones in all the preview cards. True, very true. I don't have any cooking to do with that idea, but that is, I agree. I do agree with that. So there's a lot of fun stuff in here as well. This jab is fun specifically. Senjo's can't tolerate it if she's rejected by the guy lying he already had a girlfriend. The lying thing is fun because Kaiki's the liar. But I mean, specifically, lying he already has a girlfriend. I mean, Kaiki's heart is already with someone else, right? It's already with Gaen. So I guess if he had said this and said that he had a girlfriend and then because that's what Senjo's jabbing about, if he said he had a girlfriend, like, it's kind of a half-truth for him because his heart is for someone. They're just, not here, so he can't, yeah. It's like, girlfriend wouldn't be the right term either, because it's not like she was his girlfriend when she died, because, Komodo's mom had Komodo's dad next to her, right? Right. So, and here's what's important, is that this is the same lie he told Komodo and Hana about why he never got together with her mom. Yeah, and I really like this point in here of how he repeats lies. Like I said before, half the reason he lies is he doesn't know the truth, he doesn't understand himself or others, but he has a repertoire of lies that he likes to use. The Garna car crash and died lie for Nadeko is the same lie he told Senjo in Nise 7 about the guy who tried to assault her. It's the same thing he would have told about Komodo's mom. Whether that's another lie or traumatic truth he tries to turn into a lie by using it over and over remains to be seen. I love that, especially the traumatic truth he tries to turn into a lie by using it this way over and over remains to be seen. I would be willing to guess that the reason he says got in a car crash and died so much is specifically because that's what happened to Gaen Toei. And so it's like he's either trying to turn it into a lie and kind of trying to undercut how it makes him feel in the same way that he might be doing that with oddities as a whole, with the whole conning thing. Or it's just like that's just where his mind goes because he's always thinking about it. So when he's like, oh, I need to come up with a lie about, let's say someone died, like that's just where his mind goes, because that's what he's thinking about. It's an echo of Araragi and Mayoi Snail, afraid of change and of being involved in a romantic relationship that would force him to grow up. Araragi has a moment of courage at the end of Mayoi Snail after realizing the death of the child. Shout out Hachikuji, my beloved, but not like that, nothing happened for Kaiki. Agreed. I like that idea a lot. There was some really good stuff. I like this comparison as well, of comparing Araragi's, what should I say, tendencies, quasi-complex, as the comment says, just his thing, let's just call it the thing, right, because that's fun, with young girls, Hachikuji, Shinobu, Ononoki, but really Hachikuji, it makes the most sense to me. But that relationship, like that thing he has for Hachikuji, which is him, like, wanting to be with the inner child and using the inner child as a way to, like, distract himself from things that are stressful, that kind of such, comparing that to how Kaiki seems to maybe be doing that with Senjo Gahara, right? Or at least with teenagers in general, like the teenage age, but it's the same thing. And this comment says a lot of really good stuff about that. And then to even say that Araragi and Kaiki see Senjo in like a kind of a similar way, where Araragi, let's see, Kaiki's development is frozen in his teen years when he refused to go through the motions of becoming an adult, only to watch her, Gai Toei, marry someone else and die. Note that Konbaru compares her mom to a devil. I remember this in the beginning of Hana. And Araragi says the same thing about Senjo in Bake 1. Yeah. And so we're seeing Senjo called some sort of devil, and then we're seeing Konbaru's mom called the devil, and then Kaiki's over here where Konbaru's mom is gone, and then Senjo Gahara kind of like takes that place in a weird way because they've both been called a devil. Like that being like a connection between Konbaru's mom and Senjo Gahara, which is why Kaiki is kind of acting the way he is with Senjo Gahara specifically. Kaiki seeing Konbaru's mom and Senjo, I agree. I totally agree. Which is it's very sad. And he, a part of him, like, he's not doing anything sus, right? Like, he's trying to, and I agree with all this, of like, he's trying to treat them like children, you know, when he's sitting down with the waitress and like calling Senjo a child and all that kind of stuff. He's overcompensating in ways, the whole Cabernet Club with Hanekawa, because it's like he's in this, I don't know, it's like he's in this weird half space where, I mean, Araragi, he has at times kind of commented on what he does with like Hachikuji or whatever in like a negative, and like in a way of like, I shouldn't do that, and kind of shown like a regret or shown like a thought about that. But overall, Araragi like has been very comfortable with like a lot of those like sexualization stuff. Well, that's not even that true, because he was even like checking in with Konbaru over the text saying like, sorry if I went too far kind of thing. At least in the beginning when he was telling us the stories, he was definitely not showing his apprehension nearly as much. But perhaps they're both kind of overcompensating. Well, I don't know. Because it's very different because Kaiki doesn't actually, like, do things with them. Like, he'll call Senjo, but he always has a reason out of saying, like, oh, I'm calling you for X reason, even if he really is just lonely. Whereas Araragi, I feel like, doesn't make those excuses. He's kind of, if anything, the sexualization is the excuse. That he's, like, he's, like, turning it into a blame on himself and saying, like, oh, I'm just a horny dude that sucks. That's why I'm harassing the child. Not that he's lonely and using Hachikuji, for example, as, like, a desperate escape from, you know, like a desperate retreat even into who he used to be before everything went wrong, whatever went wrong. We don't know what went wrong specifically at this point. But yeah. What was happening? Where am I? What's going on? I basically agree with this, and I think it's really good and pogged. Which makes the Kaiki-Araragi connection even stronger. Yeah. And then the Nadeko projection is really crazy, where, like, she's immature for her age. Like, he commented on her, like, regressing even more mentally, like, when he first met her at the shrine. And so, she's immature for his age. Araragi was, like, I mean, the story's about growing up, right? So, he's kind of stunted the cram school, having to, like, learn to catch up. Retreating to the inner child, all that kind of stuff. So he's stunted, but he's growing out of it. Nadeko is, like, intentionally stunting herself. And then Kaiki is, like, way in the future, but also stunted and held back. But he's not making that forward progress. If anything, dealing with Nadeko is his opportunity to recognize what he is and how he is immature for his own age by spending all his time conning children. Instead of actually being an adult, you know, and no matter how much he, you know, tries to cover himself in money and make it all about money and rationalize his way out of it, like, that's really how he is too. Pog? I like that. I like that a lot. Emotional stunting. And the emotional stunting thing I like so much, or just, like, stunting in general. I won't even say emotional stunting, but just the stunting in general of the characters, Kaiki, Araragi specifically we're talking about, and then I guess Sengoku, is such a wonderful, like, thematic contrast to the whole narratives of growing up, accepting things in the past, right? Dealing with oddities, whether real or fake, right? I mean, I could literally rattle like 7 examples off the top. And like, Karen and Tsukiki growing up, Araragi's thing with that, Hachikuji being a dead child and kind of stuck there. Like that's literally like the such a core of the show. So this is such a like a wonderful like addition on top of it. Sad it didn't include more of Kaiki's inner monologue. It really undersells just how rattled he is by Hanekawa. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and this. He has known Gai and Izuku for years with her catchphrase about knowing everything, and then he meets this girl who looks him straight in the eye and says, I don't know everything, I only know what he knows. That's, like, and she's comfortable with it. And Hanekawa's comfortable with it. Gain's, like, this weird knows everything, almost like an idealization of what an adult should be, of, like, I mean, it's almost like an adult. Maybe that's part of, like, the whole parent thing, where it's like, oh, a parent, like, when you're a little baby, you're a little kid or whatever, like, the kind of the trope of it is like, oh, your parents know everything, they're perfect, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. And so Gon's like almost like a weird characterization of like a perfect adult that knows everything, and like when you're a kid it feels so condescending, but that kind of thing. And so for Gon to be like this like pinnacle of like adult in like that annoying way, and then Hanekawa comes in and seems perfectly content with not being that. Like, she's grown and she's confident, but she doesn't know everything. She only knows what she knows. She's not even, she's like undercutting that entire idea. Because, I mean, imagine how Kaiki feels if we see Gon as like some sort of like annoying, perfected adult kind of thing. Then like Kaiki's stuck in the past. He's been stuck in the past ever since Gon Toei died. So Gon Izuku comes around, who's even directly linked to Gon Toei, and like knows everything. I mean, that's just like a showcase of how stunted he is. But then Hanekawa is the bridge, man. Hanekawa says like, oh, like you don't have to know everything to grow up, You don't have to know it all. You never will. You only know what you know. Hanekawa's the best, man. I love her so much. I really, really like this as well. I also just like the name Muskrat so much. Sorry, I know that's random, but just the name Muskrat. Muskrat. Okay, sorry. The whole this was just written, I think, really well about like the wonders of the theme of the series, right? Where the perception is being such a big thing, which then makes the audience member in their perception kind of an active participant in the story. I totally agree with that, and I think that's like one of the greatest strengths, right? And I love it so much. This is such an interesting take on phenomenology and metaphysics. It lets you reevaluate the stories we tell ourselves in real life and the oddities we create by believing in them, whether consciously or not. True, bro. I need to study phenomenology and metaphysics. Like, I know some. I'm not gonna get into it because it's like such a thing, and I want to focus on Monogatari the show. But metaphysics specifically is like, I don't know. These ideas are super, super cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll read a bunch of books on it by like Heidegger. I think Heidegger is phenomenology, right? I'll read a bunch of like philosophy books, and then we do the grained philosophy Monogatari combination. But yeah. And then this is the whole using this as a way to say there isn't an incorrect way to see the narrative. Everyone has a different or unique experience. And at points, I think that it's part of the story to be deceived and lied to. After all, self-deception is one of the main themes. Agreed. And that's one of my favorite things about this show, and being able to watch it, right? So yeah, I'm glad that people are enjoying hearing me yap, because that is the goal, right? Bald. One thing to remember is Oshino's job was to keep the balance in Kizu, and Gon now has the, quote, balance she wanted for the city. So as if things were prior to Sengoku becoming god, something had to be done. This is true. Right, because he was sent, he was saying as much in Kizu, Oshino, right? It is funny that, like, Gon has the balance she wanted for the city. She doesn't have it perfectly how she wanted it to. It's like, why does there need to be a god, though? Why does there need to be a god? Because that was what the move was, is to make Shinobu god, but now it's Sengoku's god. And the talisman, right? I wonder if there's like a way we can see the city as like a analogy for the individual, or like for like as an analogy for the show. I mean, because let's say as simply, the city is out of balance and things need to be fixed. I mean, if you really, I mean, this is kind of me just throwing stuff at a wall, but like, having a god in the city is like having like the super ego of the mind or whatever, right? Like you need to have a king of the city in the same way that the king of the mind. I mean, shout out Plato's Republic. Reading the word metaphysics got me thinking in a different passage, man. Go read Plato the Republic. Good book. I enjoy that book. But like, so yeah, like, is there room to see the balance, the people coming from outside the city into the city to balance it as like a metaphor for how things come into life and shifts it, and people try to balance it? Because I like that idea. I just, viewing the city in that macro lens is kind of hard to do because of the story is we're so locked into the individuals. I feel like I would need, and we've heard Gon's plan with the Shinobu thing, but like I feel like I would need even more talk about like exactly like the motivations of why every person's there. Like we know Oshino was there to keep the balance, but like Oshino's very different from Kage Nui, who's very different from Kaiki, and they're all very different and like kind of in that position underneath Gon. And Gon's the one kind of in charge. So, you know, what's the point? What's the point? It's like, and for them to all be adult characters as well is fun. I mean, for like a moment, it's interesting. I've tried to point out Araragi's dad as like our like big thing, because we know Araragi's mom exists. Like we've seen her like talk, right? With Hanekawa, I believe, and so. For all, like, is Oshino the one that Araragi starts with because he's like a stand-in father figure? Could you even say that as much? And then Kaiki's like the fun uncle. Okay. Patrick Bateman x Kaiki Deshu, this is an insane crossover. So true. I need to see these two have a talk, man. Can we get Patrick Bateman and Kaiki in the same room? This is fun. The braid thing I haven't thought about, but at least the whole Balke episode 1 opener is all flashback to Kizu, including the panty shot. It's just crazy to me. I still remember that, like, people were telling me, don't frame by frame the Balke scene because you're going to spoil yourself for Kizu. I remember, like, people telling me that, and me just being like, there's no way that the beginning of the show just spoiled the later part of the show. Like, that's such a mind break, you know? The single braid thing's fun as well. We've been doing some talking in the Discord about, like, Hanekawa's like a tiger with wings attached to it. I'm sure somebody else could explain it a lot better than I, so I won't do this right now. Maybe I'll post something or something. But, or like get back to that also. Maybe I'll circle back to that when I actually kind of have it all in front of me. But the idea of like the single braid turning into the double braid could be like a one-winged butterfly can't fly, but then we get the two wings and now we can like start moving kind of thing. Maybe that's kind of an idea there. Or it could just, like, because the changing of hairstyles has been important, especially with Hanekawa. She's been, like, one of the people that have gone through that trope the most. But, I mean, even Sengoku, Sanjigahara, you know, have done that. So, yeah. It's also just a nice way to mentally kind of tell the difference between the different times of the story, right? Forgive me the KK disrespect just because of the suit. I appreciate it, but guess what? The suit is no longer here to save you. FKK. I hate KK. Bet. This is the truest thing I've ever seen. Wait, can I pin this? Is there something already pinned? There's not. I'm pinning it. I'm pinning it live. Is it pinned now? Bet. This is funny. Showing up like Phoenix Wright, you know it. Appreciate it, Cochin. Nice to appreciate it. Blade Runner reference. I haven't seen Blade Runner. Drip. I appreciate that boy. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to do now is, man, I really like some of this stuff too. Replies. Were there stuff in some of the replies? I did read the replies. Right. The mixing of the truth of the car accident. Mixing in true events and lies is a very good strategy to make them sound more believable after all. Especially because Kaiki's the guy that, like, interacts in the gray so much, right? And is wanting people to decipher what is a lie and what isn't a lie. So having some things be true. I mean, like, because it is true. It's like him in Hanomonogatari when he's talking to Kanbaru, where he gives Kanbaru some information but doesn't give Kanbaru like the end all be all of information with the Numachi situation, Numachi actually being dead. Rest in peace Numachi as well. So you know, he gives, like, that's like a lie by omission, but it's also him giving the truth. So we have seen him do that. But specifically with the car crash and died lie, it does, because it has to do with death and it's applied to Gaen Toei. It makes me think that it isn't something as intentional from Kaiki as much as it's like a reflex that he does because of like his trauma and how stunted he is with that. As opposed to being him intentionally mixing in true and false. I feel like it could be more of a reflex. Though it could go both ways. It could go both ways. Yeah, okay, so let me pull up... Which one should I do first? Nise 1, Nise 2, Koi 4, or Otori 1? Oh, let me do Otori 1. Just because of this line. So I did rewatch some of this Sengoku inner monologue. What stood out to me here, and I think this is Kuchiyanawa, the freaking snake talking. Yeah, it is. So her delusion talking to herself. I mean, it is Sengoku, like, technically, but it's coming the snake's voice, you know? Good people can easily become bad, and bad people can easily become good. I mean, this just shows, like, that's like a fundamental, I would say, misunderstanding of people, and is something that, or like, not a fundamental misunderstanding, that's me being a bit extreme. It's an overt simplification of people, especially because, and I believe it was Kaiki who said, though correct me if I'm wrong, that some, and I think it was in Hana too, or maybe I think it was pointed at Numachi as well. Man, I need to relook at some of the Hana stuff. I'm trying to save that for after this arc, I think, but we'll get to it eventually. It'll be fun. We'll circle back. The whole sometimes good people do bad things and sometimes bad people do good things and sometimes there's not even much of a reason for it, right? And we've applied that to Kaiki with him even helping out right now in the first place, right? So this line is like a different philosophy of that idea because it's not saying good people do bad things. It's not saying bad people do good things. It's good people become bad, right? It's a good person makes like the swap. And it parallels what Sengoku's going through so well because Sengoku was, let's say, a good person, but then became a god and now is a bad person, an oddity, right? So, but that's not how it works. Like, things aren't that gray, you know? Or things aren't that black and white. Things are gray. I mean, shout out all of Hanekawa's entire arc as proof of that. Shinobu as a character tied to Araragi as a half oddity. Like, this is not how, and I know it's saying good people and bad people, but like in the Sengoku context, it really does feel like a reflection on her own story and how she became an oddity. That's just not how it works, Sengoku. So I don't know. Maybe this difference in philosophy will be part of how Kaiki dismantles Sengoku, and tricks her, where she's so rooted in that idea, like her ideas of change and becoming are different than Kaiki's philosophy. And I would agree with the Kaiki philosophy. Again, if it was Kaiki, I don't remember exactly, of the good people sometimes do bad things and inverse. So, basically, that would be an interesting piece of ammunition, and I really like the parallel, and this show is really good. Yeah, and then Sengoku kills them both, and this was Otori 1. I still can't believe they just did that at the beginning of the arc. What an insane thing to do. Freaking Sengoku. You little rat. You little snake. Okay, let me pull up. Now, that's Koi 4, Nise 2. Let's look at Nise 1. So, Nise 1, I'm gonna play this scene. I watched this scene and, like, was emotionally laid out by it. I'm just gonna watch it. It's Hachikuji no Araragi. Yeah. So let's get episode 1. Nise, just this little chunk here. It's 22:18. I'm not gonna put the timer because it's so short, but 22:18, episode 1, Nise. Boom. This is just foreshadowing. This is incredible foreshadowing. Like, she's so sweet and genuine whenever when they're not doing their bit. But then this part right here. And he ties it to Oshino. I was wondering if you're gonna vanish like he did. And he only talks to Shinobu and Hachi about it. Right. She doesn't even answer it. She doesn't even answer that. She doesn't even say that she won't vanish because she knows she will. Or she ties it to the reason, right? But like, but then, you know, it's just like, before I do, I'll come to say goodbye, and that's exactly what happened, right? Oh, and he thinks of Oshino. It's funny because didn't Oshino like purposefully not say exactly goodbye? Yeah, I don't know. It's just I stumbled on that scene and just with the recent context with the end of Oni, it just hurts. Like, you know, it's just brutal. Um, and it's like it shows that Araragi on some level like knew this could have happened of like her disappearing, and this isn't something that he's only said this time. I feel like he's been saying it a handful of times, which really does kind of like maybe even add on to the idea that like he either caused her to disappear in like some sort of crazy subconscious move, or he at least like understood her role as an oddity and how she couldn't stay here, right? Which makes the entire arc of Koi, you know, like so much more of it just coping. It's denial, right? You know, 5 stages of grief type behavior, which is very sad. So yeah, I don't know. I randomly stumbled on that scene and was like, oh dang, that hurts. Okay, now this is the closet in all of its glory. So they start with locking like the million of locks in Sengoku's house. That looks like smart. Why do they have so many locks? They're kind of paranoid, are they not? These parents, man. Okay. The closet. Like, you hear that? So she goes into the closet. Does she lose an item of clothing in between? Is that so? She's got her frilly skirt. She's got the long locks / leggings on. Got her like top. They go up to the second floor. It's door. So it's door closed when they enter the room, door open, closet, door closed, closet. He looks at the closet. Why is she like this? But look, she's still got all her items of clothing. What did she put in there? Why did my files just appear on the screen? And then they just start doing their thing, right? Where she tries to seduce him, tries to get him to play King's game, is like stripping, gets him to strip a little bit, you know, all of that, tries to play the game of life with him, really ends up, many arcs later, playing the game of death with him. The parents aren't home. There was a fun line in here that I noticed where it was, they talk about the spells a little bit. She says her parents... Oh, yeah. Okay, 2 things. She says her parents aren't home because they work on Saturdays. Araragi says mine do that as well. Just take my word for it. It's somewhere in here. That's really kind of a crazy line because mine do as well it kind of implies that he has both of his parents still alive. But even if he implies that, that could be something that he's lying about or something that he's just not accepted the truth of, like as if something bad happened to Araragi's dad. Or it could also just show that, like, it's so rare for him to bring that stuff up, right? So for him to say, my parents work on that day, on Saturdays, I mean, is it just part of, like, some sort of abandonment he feels towards them, or he feels like they're always working or something? Like, I don't know. It's an interesting line for him to say at all, right? Especially because he's saying it in his story, because it's nise. And then this is fun as well, where this is foreshadowing for Kaiki appearing, is it not? Because they're talking about... someone deliberately spread the spell for their own reasons, and then it's a bunch of Monopoly money in the air. Or, like, the life money in the air. Kaiki is money! So it's literally foreshadowing Kaiki's entire, like, existence in the story. And I think this is before he shows up, right? Because doesn't he... He shows up in Nise, doesn't he? Or is it... Maybe he already showed up. But, like, the money thing at least is a Kaiki reference. I'm really bad with the timelines. I think he shows up Nise 3 or 4, doesn't he? Because he shows up before the end of the the Karen arc, but I think it's in a minute there. So that's at least a fun what is it called? Poke. Fun foreshadowing. Yeah. Man, and that line of Hachikuji saying that she's honored how her and Shinobu are the two that he goes to talk to. Because she's the inner child, and then Shinobu, we could say, is like... There's a lot of ways we could describe her and her relationship to Araragi of being like the fake monster because she's a vampire, so she was a human or she could go back. Or how she's like a half oddity because he's half vampire, so like there's that bridge. For it to be them too, and honestly I feel like Hachikuji as the main person is really crazy. Hachikuji's the main person? I don't know. At least the two of them together. And so now that Hachikuji's gone, like at least he still has Shinobu, but Oshino's gone, Hachikuji's gone. So many people are gone. It's just horrible and sad. Okay, that's otori 4. Koi 4. Boom. Okay, so this was Koi 4. Okay, so the paper does say stay out of it. I still don't know who wrote this. I still don't know what's in the closet. I still don't know what the ending of the story is. I still don't know what happened to Araragi's parents. What do I know? Nothing. Who could have written this, man? Araragi. I feel like he would have been more direct, so no. Episode. Part of the Gone thing? Probably not. He do be freelance, but nah, I don't know. HANEKAWA? No. She wouldn't want him to stay out of it. She wants them to be saved. Araragi and Senjo, so no. No reason for that. Kagenui? Oshino? Probably Kagenui or Oshino, honestly. Because, man, like, Oshino leaves, and then Gon becomes such a big part of the picture, and then Kaiki moves in. Like, all the people replaced him. So he was... I need to rewatch the end of Bake. So much I need to rewatch. I'm willing to... Like, I kind of want to say that he was confident in pulling out, which means that now that Kaiki could be disrupting something really important, like, that would maybe give him a reason to try to come back in. But it's hard to say. Okay. Some of the stuff I wanted to yap about here, though, was meet up at Mr. Donut. So true. Kaiki thinking people are after him and kind of being, like, extra spooked is funny. But I think it does show that he is, like, less stable and logical than he attempts to come off as, right? His drawings literally looking like the post-credit thing are very funny. All of the post-credits are Karen and Tsukihi finding Kaiki's old journal. Finding Kaiki's diary and reading through it. So some of this stuff. HANEKAWA literally just... Like, look at this introduction. Wait, I just want to rewatch this. White scene, black scene. Also, the white scene, black scene thing... That's like black and white. That's crazy. And it says Neko Shiro, or Kuro Shiro. But I only recognize that because Neko Shiro, or like all the... I recognize those terms because black and white, black HANEKAWA, white HANEKAWA, you know? Man, why is it called black scene, white scene specifically? Like, what does that mean? I feel like that's something that reading the novel would... Like, reading the text would help with, because that's what, like, this stuff would represent, or, like, reflect to. Bro. I love this show. So much to dig into. And then she's just there. Whoa, wait! He played the thing. Kaiki, did you hear that? He does the eye camera shutter sound. That's something Araragi does all the time. Araragi reference. Literally at the beginning of Bake, he do the whooshink, or at least he does it a ton when he's looking at HANEKAWA, back when he idolized her. So, like, did Kaiki low-key just do the same thing? Bro, Araragi reference. That's crazy. That's crazy. I love HANEKAWA. She's such a goat. Such a cat. I could still run away, but chose not to. She bows to him. You know what's crazy? She bows. Bro, I think this was a move on her part. Look at this. She bows until he responds. So it's like, that almost feels like a move to, like, you know, like a conversational move to control the conversation of, like, I'm gonna keep my head down until he responds. to kind of force him to respond or give him the chance to run away willingly, to force him to confront the fact that he could have ran away. Like, I low-key think she's playing him already out the gate that fast. I love her. Kids shouldn't speak in such a humble manner. He tries to infantilize her, and then she just Sigma stares at him. Doesn't even respond. That's crazy. Oh, so they're in a taxi together, I think? Because the fare went up? Is this a taxi? I don't think I've ever been in a taxi. Yeah, I think this is a taxi. Yeah, because the fare went up. So I think it was like as the mileage increases, that's how taxis work. Actually, I'm going to also rewatch. I think I'm going to rewatch a chunk here just so I can remember exactly why she had lied to Senjugahara and Araragi about that. And why was that, my good Hanekawa? Could you be so kind as to remind me? Kind of like a wasted effort to ease their minds. Might break through. Kind of already knew that Oshino wasn't overseas. I'd be able to fool something if I went overseas. So Oshino, I kind of think Oshino's. Whoa, the fare went up so much more. I feel like Oshino's just gonna pop back up randomly, like maybe even soon. You know, like imagine if episode like wasn't even the guy tracking him, but it was Oshino. You know, because I mean. And this is me kind of grasping at straws because I don't really remember the end of Bake as well as I should. But Oshino leaves. Kaiki shows up. Kage Nui shows up. Eventually. Boom. Right? Like, I kind of feel like he pulls out and then they take his place. And then I feel like Gaon comes in later. So maybe Oshino's coming back because of a disagreement with Gaon. He's like, now that he, you know? Because Gaon's filled the void. And so now Oshino comes back to dispute that because he didn't, you know? But I don't know. He's been so gone for so long. My Oshino love it, man. What a misfortune. Wanted her to think I was taking irrelevant actions. So that's why she went overseas. Because going overseas would be irrelevant. Dude, look at this shot with her, Hanekawa, the tree, and then like some spot overseas with the balloons. The tree is there, the dead tree. Cram school, Kaiki. You know, Araragi, stunted development. Irrelevant. Or like, ooh. Because yeah, like stunted, a dead tree, it's like pointless, you know, like it's kind of at the end of its life or whatever. I feel like that can maybe that's a visual metaphor for how irrelevant her actions were. That's like, it's a dead end. Just as much as this is a dead tree. Okay. Maybe a bit extreme, but I like the idea. But I'm going to... Okay, so she's doing this... Okay, so she really is going overseas, but she came back to make a move, and then is going back to try to... She's trying to, like, obfuscate her position. See how he looks away? And then look how, like... I don't know, I even know that was smug. Look how smug she looks. She's so smug. With a super earnest look in her eyes. She has to call his attention back over, bro. Like, who's the kid now? Who's the kid now? And he's not comfortable enough to go to the hotel room? Or, like... I don't mind things like that too much. Why? I feel like they missed... I think I do have a good eye for men. Wait, what? In the flashing bit? Give me it again. The hotel where she lodged. Okay, so we did go to the hotel. Okay. And then they start yapping. Okay. The fun part is that Kaiki starts trying to gain control in the talk. By asking for intent, crossing his legs, trying to look all professional. But then she denies. Half-hearted. Half-hearted? Let me just let it play out again. I love HANEKAWA. Fun cut to a light there. I mean, that just reminds me of when she was Black HANEKAWA, you know? And she brings up Oshino. Oh, it's so good! What was that thing there? Everything is leaving me behind? Kaiki! Wait, Kaiki! Kaiki, is this your inner thoughts? I think this is a Kaiki inner thought of... She says, I swear to a cat, which shows how comfortable she is overcoming her demons. And so, Kaiki feels left behind because... Which shout out how... Because that's what Araragi feels. Because she's dealing with her past. And he's not. And that's what Araragi's trying to deal with. And he's dealing with... he's helping other people deal with their pasts. And he's like... There's also all the issues with Kizu that are like tied to Shinobu, but really there was something even before that we haven't talked to him about, right? But for Kaiki to be feeling the exact same way and for him to even admit it in his own brain when shown the overcome her own past HANEKAWA, oh my goodness. And then that disturbs him, right? He's kind of thrown off by that, so he starts like kind of being kind of almost accusatory and saying, "What? You're not asking me anything?" Like. How you're not asking how I feel? Like, that feels like he's getting defensive, you know? Just a hint, just a hint. Being like, bro, ask me more questions. Like, what do you mean? Like, you trust me? Like, I'm supposed to be untrustworthy. And then she just hits him with the Sigma stare. I'm not going to ask. Oh. And then she changes the subject, bro. And he's like, wait a minute. But he's just getting played. And he's the one sitting down, too. He's the one in the chair, but, like, not at all. He even tries to compare it to Gun because of how disturbed he is. And then she has the counter. It's so good. Completely rolls and smokes him, and then he has to acquiesce. He says, fine. I'll go along with it. I'll let the subject be changed. He accepts the loss. And then they cut, right? I think it's time for me to watch the episode. That wintry breeze that blew back then. Oh, wow, but they say that blew back then. I just started now. Interesting. Okay, let's just open the episode, I'd say. I want to jump into the episode. Woo! Okay. Let's take it easy. Take a load off. Green Dr. Soba. Dr. Pepper cream soda. I don't remember if I gave you a sip in this take or not, so take a sip, take a sip. Sorry, this is like my third intro, but that's okay. Woo! Mental slowdown. Okay, let's speed it up. Episode 5 should be exciting. I'm excited. Banish all the mental fog, banish the breeze of forgetfulness. The river Styx, one might say. And let's get into this episode. Episode 5 should be exciting. Let's get going in a 3, a 2, a 1. Wait now. Hey. Slow down. The closet. What's in the closet? I forgot about that. Okay. So I wanted to real quick just a few thoughts on that. So what we know is the thing with the closet was before Nise, right? Because she didn't want Araragi to go into the closet at the very start of Nise. So whatever she's hiding in her closet was something that probably either came from her time in at the end of Bake in her snake arc, or it was even before that, longer into her past, right? Maybe when she first met Araragi or something. That much we know. Is it related to her hair? I like that idea somewhat, because we do know that she used the hairband to experiment with her hair, when she was trying to seduce Araragi. So, and she talked about how much she had to like work up the confidence, right? So if she had some sort of like hair-oriented thing in there, that could totally make sense. How would that be like super like crazy for Kaiki to see? I don't know. I don't know if that would be enough. I talked about the hairband before. I don't know about that. I don't like that idea that much. It's a cool idea, but like I don't think it's it. Is it dead snakes, snake farm? I already talked about those ideas. A shrine. I just don't know. I don't know. Sengoku, tell me what's in the closet. She had to some degree cuteness put on her by her parents, and then like acquiesced to that. I keep using that word, but caved to that. Let's say caved to that cuteness forced on her, and then started to use that as a defense mechanism. And it's kind of funny because in the same way that she probably was like told to be cute and then was like, okay, fine, I'll be cute. Now she uses the cuteness as a way to like, okay, fine, her way out of everything. Where it's like, do your thing, Sengoku, and then she just kind of like she uses the cuteness, and I my mental image of her is like she has all these cute things forced on her, and then she's looking down at her feet as like she's becoming cutified or whatever, and then cut to later, now she's the cute thing, and she's doing the exact same thing she did whenever the cuteness was put onto her, right? So like, is it something super cute? No, because the closet's on the inside, it's the hidden thing. So it's something not cute that's been there from at least beginning of Bake, or end of Bake, but probably earlier. Not cute, relates to Sengoku, could relate to... I don't even know if it would relate to Araragi. She is so comfortable to even admit to wanting to kill Araragi. That's like, what do you have left to hide? Oshino, tied up in her closet. Oh, that would be so stupid. Oh my goodness. I'm just thinking, we got Miss A. We got Mystery A, Mystery B. Maybe it's the same thing. Snakes. Other love interests that she's, like, locked away in the closet. I don't know. I just don't know. And that's really sad. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad that I at least gave it I gave it a hard try there for a second, didn't I? That's what matters. Okay. Koimonogatari, episode 5. Kaiki, tell me what's in the closet before I lose my mind. HANEKAWA, spit more bars. That's what we're looking for. We're gonna finish conning. We're gonna finish conning her by the end of next episode. I'm willing to bet, because that sounds like a good season 2 end point. We fix the whole situation, or we don't fix it, and it gets worse. Is it even gonna get fixed? Is Kaiki gonna screw up? We're kind of hitting this weird thing where it's like almost like a not Chekhov's gun, but like it feels like they might be foreshadowing it. It's like too good to be true. They're too good to be truing it, saying like, oh, it's so easy, and then they're like foreshadowing like an eventual fall with it being like Senjo or whoever I think Senjo telling Kaiki, you're getting enchanted, you're getting tricked potentially, and then people telling Kaiki to stop and such. It's like Kaiki, like we could almost even make it like a bigger thing of Kaiki's own issues in his past with being attached to Gaen is going to cause his downfall as he attempts to, deal with the Sengoku situation, who's doing much of the same thing, where like, because he relates to her in that way. And so if he's not strong enough to deal with his past stuff with Gaen, then how is he going to, like he's like, that's what Sengoku's trying to do, the same thing he's trying to do. So if he can't fix his own thing, then how's he going to fix her own thing, So I could see this not concluding well and something horribly going wrong. Maybe it's not even that Araragi and Senjo get killed, but that Sengoku still loses her mind, right? Like, just because he's going to trick her, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, you can probably trick her, but if you don't trick her successfully and she gets mad, then that's really bad for everyone. So maybe he'll trick her successfully and she'll get mad? That he won't, that he'll, like, say, like, oh, they're all dead. Like, they're dead, they died in a car accident, omega lol. And then she'll be like, oh my gosh, these hiccups. And then she'll be like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna kill you now, That she'll just take out her anger and be, like, doing something else, right? Yeah, I could see that being the case. And then we're left with, like, a crazy snake on a rampage, mess of everything arc. The city's in chaos. The self is in chaos. Yeah. Dang, and like everyone's leaving Araragi, and you say Oshino. This is random. And last thing I'll say before jumping into the episode. But Araragi, you're saying everyone's leaving me behind, right? Oshino. I ran out. Hachikuji, right? There's more you could say, but those two are the ones that jump out the most. Have you been left behind in the past, Araragi? I think you have. I think he was left behind in the past, because remember Kizu 1, the thing he's saying, relationships make you weak, lone wolf is how you do it. So he feels abandonment from someone at the very start, and then as he's having to abandon the characters who represent things he cares about, it's the same thing, right? He's having to... It's more abandonment, right? He feels abandoned again and again and again. But it all, I think, is in context to being abandoned in the first place. And I've said before, Araragi's dad dying as an idea. It could be not even dying, but just, like, left for some reason, like daddy issues. The mom didn't leave because the mom's still around. Because Hanekawa talked to her. Interesting. Thoughts. Let's watch Koimonogatari episode 5. I've yapped far enough. So yeah, let's get going in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! Okay. He got a grip on it. Hanekawa was clutch with exposition. Karaoke? She dragged that half-vampire episode into all this. This is true. You know about episode, that's fun. Hi, Hanekawa. I'm just glad she's still here, and we're still talking to her. Ooh! I like that idea. Whoa. So the lack of balance brings in issues, not that the issue... Okay. Flat out refused. Wow. Yeah, so the lack of balance is what caused the issues. That's kind of a fun interpretation. Ooh, got her! Oh, he said he called her a child, and then Hanekawa rolls him. Good stuff. I was the one getting snubbed? She was snubbing us all. Because, yeah, even Araragi... I forgot to talk about this. Araragi even told her to wear her bangs up, but that she didn't even listen to that. She still had her bangs down from that point forward. So not even Araragi could. Ooh, yeah? Bro, Hanekawa analytical ability OP. She's the worst. She's the worst. Agreed. Good line. What was that flashing bit? Oh, it was long. 325. It was right when I blinked to Bad RNG. Things rarely do. She's casting down properly, yeah. Never stamps paperwork. Whoa, Oshino-san's family. Hey, Ogi. Hey, Ogi. You little niece pretender. Yeah, you little niece pretender, bro. Ogi. Ogi, Ogi. It's not that he yeah. He was just born to be all alone. Tell me what's in a Kaiki! He knows. He knows. Don't lie to me either. You rat. You little slithery rat. I kept it a secret. Me as well! Me as well! Wait, maybe it's a red herring and nothing important's inside. Red herring, red herring, red herring? Question mark? Thank you, Kaiki. If someone says it's important, then it's not important. If someone says it's not important, then it is important. Because you were losing it because she was getting you. Wait, or maybe you're lying to me. Ah! I can't do it! I can't do it! Okay, so Ogi confirmed no family by Kaiki. We already heard the words niece pretender from Shinobu's lips, so I'm chilling on that regard. It's just like... Yeah, I mean, Ogi's just trying specifically to worm his slash her. I don't even remember. It's just... Some people... They've done both, you know? Worm their way into the Araragi story, right? And Oshino's a good way to do that, because that's like a tie that like is tied so much in and is gone, so it's not like they could fact check it with Oshino very well. So like it makes sense to do that. Like there are reasons to be niece pretender mode fake child. It's just I don't know to what purpose. I don't understand Ogi's motivations very well. Like we have ideas about like causing hidden issues to sprout forth. It's almost like an anti. I don't know. Again and never again. You don't want it to happen anymore. You're trying to grow. Ogi, you little snake. What is up with Ogi? Can't believe you lied about the closet, you rat. Insignificant, you say. I'm not even gonna remember it. It's whenever we see it, it's just gonna be like, I don't remember this being talked about. Every day? Oh, tops. Dreidels. Playing with children, Araragi move. You're splurging. It's expensive. We're bringing up the cram school? On a whim. Copium. The symbol of stagnation is gone. When he wanted to visit it. Numachi! What's with you? Numachi? Oh, you little rat! Yes! Oh, that's crazy! Bro, that's crazy. Oh, Numachi. I'm so sad we didn't actually get to see the conversation. I wanted to see Numachi so bad. That would have made me so happy. Wow, that made my heart beat. Holy crap, that was crazy. I'll call you tonight. Oh, baby girl, I'll call you back tonight. I get it, Kaiki. Keep it in your pants. Did something good happen? Oh, she no line. Sorry, not exactly what he said. Oh, wow, she admits. She's being real. Aww. Although it didn't sound as heartless. Wow, he's really thinking about it. He's overthinking this so hard. See how, like, the, like, weird illusions around his phone, it's like how, like, drawn into the phone he is. He's so focused. Oh, true. Yeah. We briefly brought this up previously, right? Oh, attachment issues, Araragi. Yeah, yeah, we've used these lines before. We have. Oh, yeah. Faithfulness things. That's funny. Butter him up. Yeah. Damn. Do it on your own time. Yep. After you two enter college. Oh, he getting real lonely. Dang, Kaiki. I knew you were gonna say that when you laid on that bed. He'll save everyone. He really asking. Oh, he's trying to doom post. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is very... He changes the subject. I think he feels bad. Oof. We can't erase the past. We can't, yeah, we can't. Oh man, he's thinking so much about it. That's such a lie. You rat. What's up, Ononoki? I wonder if saying that all the Kaiki before he goes to lie to her was the right move, because I feel like Kaiki's not in a good mental right now. Is an Oni-chan? Whoa, crazy transition. Invert that resolution. No. And Araragi gets brought back into the picture. It's going to pamper me? Araragi, what do you mean by that? Wow. Calling his judgment into question. Good line, good line. Good line. Whew. Ooh, Ononoki! Bringing it to the front, man. I don't feel like fixing it. Misunderstanding. Just like what Senjo said about Sengoku. Crushed it down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Girl's mother fell for or was framed into. Wow, that's really sad. Yeah. Bro, it's like Ononoki is like bringing all the deep stuff out, right? That's kind of what she's done with Araragi in the past, too. Wow. I kind of believe it. I kind of believe it. Whoa. Man, he's like lashing out, kind of. His composure's not here. Lots of sarcasm, too, but like also kind of true. Dang. He's getting defensive. Wow. Look how much closer they are now after they got that all out. Seems fragile. That was so fire. Now uppercutter. Oh, wow. Money is what he said last time, right? Or like business stuff, but man, that description of Senjo is really good. I mean, we've seen like card towers around here, that kind of stuff so much. So I don't know. Whoa. You don't trust language, man. Wow, I like that. Oof, she took the bait. Smarter than a ladybug. Talk about too much. You talk too much. He's looking away, though. Surely. Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna die. Don't kill Kaiki. Don't kill him. He doesn't regen, man. He doesn't regen. Bro, the way he was speaking on the train track with him, like, standing up, I was thinking, like, oh no, I don't know, it felt like a death flag. I was getting really scared about his well-being. I thought he was, like, I don't know, I was just getting really worried. Like, is he about to do what Araragi keeps talking about and, like, self-sacrifice for someone else? Or, like, die for someone else, even if it doesn't solve anything? I kind of feel like that's, like, low-key where he's going. And that's what he's doing right now. Because he's even told by Ononoki straight up, like, you're gonna fail. Bro, what if they kill Kaiki? Oh, Sengoku, you rat. If you kill Kaiki, then we're gonna have a lot of problems moving forward. But man, they, like, admit so much. They admit so much of what Kaiki's been. Right? Everything that Ononoki was saying, it wasn't like, you know, it was more of a like, oh no, it's actually being said out loud right now. Like now he's being forced to deal with it right now. Because that's the scary things in this show, right? It's not the problems are one thing, but then the dealing with them are another. Because like, I mean, Ogi, right? Ogi makes people deal with problems, and Ogi's kind of scary. And like oddities all together, you know, people get hurt when things are being dealt with. Or maybe Kaiki's being shadowed still. That's like a Chekhov's gun situation that hasn't been used yet. So, is someone gonna like save Kaiki or attempt to save Kaiki? There are no openings in my schedule. Oh boy. Bro, this arc is so good. This arc is so fire. Because she was cute enough. She does have nerve to say that. Look at and then look at the end here. It looks like I made it in time once more, and it's Kaiki looking at a picture of Araragi watching what we just watched, the prologue. What is this line of? Finally, next time will be the last time. All will be well if it ends well. Oh, I'm nervous. It's not going to end well. I don't think it's going to end well. This, like, I was already scared when Senjugahara was saying so much stuff to Kaiki, and Kaiki was saying so much things to Senjugahara. Right? That already had me worried. But then for Ononoki to, like, take all those things which were, like, kind of, like, danced around and even kind of jabbed, but then to literally say, like, and I'm going to connect this to Gaen in front of you, like, that puts him in a really bad spot. There was some flashing bit in here that was long that I wanted to look at. There were a lot of them this episode. I'm not going to get to them all. She seems to think so. She seems to think so quite adamantly. I don't know. I wonder if it's based off of her own experience. Okay, well that's... him... Oh yeah, the happy line. Just wow. This here, when he asks, asks about what she likes in Araragi, that's really him asking, like, what does Araragi have that I don't, kind of thing. That's what it feels like, you know? And then, like, you just save Sengoku. I mean, with all the attachments from him and Sengoku, I wonder if at all it's, like, him trying to, like, project, like, a save me kind of thing. But, like, do it in such a way that, you know? Because, man, like, at least Araragi had Hachikuji to talk to and has Shinobu to talk to. But, like, Kaiki can only have someone to talk to about his issues if he's, like, talking around it, you know? And Ononoki is the one who shows up and, like, says it how it is. Yeah. And, like, he really, like, man, this really felt like a Kaiki meltdown a bit here. Let me watch this. What do you like about Araragi? What a crazy line. The part that isn't you. That is so crazy to me. But then if that's the case, even though it's a process of elimination, the selection criteria for her lover revolves around me. That is like the highest grade copium I've ever seen in my life. Oh my goodness. He's so desperate for attachment. Because he's literally saying, like, even if, like, at least her process of elimination for love revolves around me, if not her love herself. Right? At least the process of elimination does. That's crazy. And see, he's so drawn into the phone. He's so focused on this conversation with Senjo. And she's talked about what's made Araragi before, right? Like how he saves everyone, uncompromising, how he saved her, like, that much as well. Just that much, you know? And then, like, he starts just... You'd sacrifice your own life for Araragi. He starts talking about self-sacrifice again, right before he goes to talk to Sengoku. The attachments, the connections to Araragi, but he doesn't have the vampirism. Bro, I think Kaiki's, like, trying to... And the train tracks made me think of suicide. Like him standing up and walking towards it, and then Ononoki being gone. Like, it almost felt like his mind's eye was, like, going to the tracks. Which has, like, a take your own life kind of metaphor, you know? Or at least I saw it that way. I'm not sure if that was meant as much. And then he says this, which is just rude, because he's lashing out. of you guys might break up. Not pull all of my past out right now. Can you tell me why you said such mean things? Why am I saying such mean things to a high school kid? I feel ashamed of myself. Wow. And he changes the subject. He feels so bad. He feels so bad. Kaiki death flags for real, for real. I'm getting scared. They killed Hachikuji, okay? I can't trust him anymore. I can't trust him anymore. And tell me what's in this stupid closet. I kind of believe that it's insignificant. I think that could be fair. No, that is fair, because he intentionally... No, wait, no. Whatever. We'll get back to that. Everything will have been resolved. And then she says, like, I don't want anything to do with you. I still hold the grudge. Wow. She's not letting, like, because it really has been like a walk through nostalgia for him. But she's straight up bringing reality into the situation, saying, like, I'm not letting this, like, what's happened has happened, and all of this, like, fun reliving, it's like going, bro, it's like seeing, like, an ex again, you know, and, like, having, like, a good time, and then they go, like, nope, and I still never want to talk to you again, you know, it's like, just because we're having a good time doesn't mean that that things have changed between us, right? And as grateful as I am, that doesn't mean that things have changed. This music's crazy too, and her voice was really good here. Why is she saying something that's so obvious? Is she going out of her way to speak ceremoniously like that? I can't understand her. I really can't understand this girl. If I think it over again, there was a person who had a handbag like that 2 years ago. What a crazy line to throw in. What? This is such an intrusive thought from him. Right? He's thinking back. He this is something he noticed earlier and then is popping back up because he's so unstable, right? 2 years ago is when he did the ceremony thing. Is he trying to compare her to her mom? How long was the Kombaru thing? How long ago did that happen? I thought it was much longer than 2 years. So I don't think it's gone. But I could be wrong about that. My mental charts. Do I have that written? Hachi died over 10 years ago. Kabuki was 11 years ago. That little time travel journey. Kaiki loved Gon Toei. The Kaiki Stride. No, Ogi is just a rat. Oh yeah, the Ogi stuff. I wasn't even stressing about Ogi. Like, oh, Ogi, there's no another Oshino? Yeah, no dip. Like, Ogi's a rat, no wonder! Like, what, you think, you thought you deceived me? You only tricked me for, like, your first few introductions, and it's like, okay, like, we're gonna keep trusting this girl? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't have the Gon date written down. I don't think I have Hana downloaded either, so I don't think if it was at the beginning I can pull that up. Such a specific line. After this case is over, never enter my town for the rest of your life. He's like banished from the city? Bro, death flags are everywhere. Neither past nor present, you have never once lied to me. Bro. It's crazy. He's... It's like... Ononoki is pulling out all the deepest stuff, right? And just saying it how it is. And like previously, it was a lot of it was like his connections to Araragi, like his analogies there, which is really funny. And now, just this entire conversation was crazy. Brings up Araragi right here, man. Is someone else's girlfriend that important to you? That's interesting because she's referring to Senjo as someone else's girlfriend. No. She's referring to Ga and Toei as someone else's girlfriend, right? Is that it? It could be kind of both. It could be kind of a double speak thing. He shifts someone else's girlfriend and your old relationship. Well, because then it's weird that like she says that as opposed to Senjugahara or just a person, because she's talking about Senjugahara in context to Araragi, though it is his relationship to her as boyfriend girlfriend that's causing a lot of dispute within Kaiki. So actually, no, I think that makes sense. Sorry, my old video circling. Okay, continue. No, I don't feel like fixing it. It's better to leave other people's misunderstandings alone, even if it's the misunderstandings of an oddity. Ogi disagrees. Ogi meddles. Araragi disagrees. Araragi gets into other people's issues and fixes them, because he doesn't want to deal with his own issues. Kaiki is just doom posting. Oh, he's so dead. I'm so scared of Kaiki getting hurt. You do things that aren't you, and you really will be in a bad situation. It's crazy, too, because that, I mean, reminds me of Kiss Shot. Kiss Shot being a god, being not her, and then the bad situation was the darkness coming up. Hachikuji not acting in the way that the inner child's supposed to work because she was sticking around too long, and, you know, wasn't, like, getting people lost and all that anymore. And that ended up in a bad situation, though that was still overall like a really positive thing because she and Araragi got to spend that time together, but which was, you know, really good. But Hachikuji, my beloved. It's not like you haven't expressed such failures before. And just bringing every failure to his face, he's shifting uncomfortably, bro. Swindled a cult and crushed it down. You got me going back to freaking Hitagi Crab this much, man. I didn't realize. I thought he was just conning. I didn't realize he was. I thought he was taking advantage. I didn't realize he had like helped this much. And you were around? What? So he as much as he conned Senjugahara, he was also trying to help her. How true is this? I think this is honestly way, like, really honest and true. Not a lie. And my reason for that is character names. What is the name of this girl? She literally, what is your, Ononoki. Looking at her helped. Ononoki, like, I feel like she just says it how it is, right? Her position as, like, the real monster, if we want to, like, go with that kind of thematic idea, is, like, because we've had in Oni, we kind of had that idea that I really liked from that one comment of, like, Ononoki as the real monster, Shinobu as, like, the fake monster that, like, you play around with but you don't really get into your issues, and then Hachikuji is the inner child. And so, like, if we go, like, Ononoki real monster, then it's, like, Kaiki right now, after his conversation with Senjugahara, is left really pondering about his own life, and that's what draws Ononoki to him. It's not that Ononoki... Bro, it's just like with the city. It's just like the city with Kiss Shot. It's not that Ononoki came in and started making him question his life. It's that he was already questioning it, and then Ononoki appeared. He was already thinking about this because of his conversation with Senjugahara. Then, boom, Ononoki plops in. Same way that the city was unbalanced, that's what draws Kiss Shot in, right? So in that way, like, I think this is, like, a very genuine look into Kaiki's head. Which I mean, I like a lot of these ideas. I agree with. Based off of like prior characterization that we've tried to do. Like him having like reasons for good hidden within his conning, not necessarily all the time, but at least sometimes. And then like his entire thing with Gon, like obviously we're very well acquainted with. You chose to crush it for her, right? And it was all for nothing. A failure, yeah. It's so sad because he spent all that time and it didn't do anything. And he desperately is trying to rationalize his way out of it, saying cut of the profits, but like so I don't care what you think of it, sure. It's like he can't escape it. You know? It almost feels like he's like part of him is a good guy and he can't escape that as much as he like in a way would like to. Which just makes me think again of Araragi and Justice, right? Where he can't escape that, and I think that's what's kind of really got him destroyed. In like so many ways, right? Gon is worried about your well-being, your body and soul. That Kaiki might do something unfitting for him again. I think it's true. I do think it's true that Gon cares. I am quite Gon empathetic. And maybe I just like patronizing women. But you never know. Just, you know, I don't know. I trust that her motives. I trust her motives as a balancer. I trust all these balancers to be trying to do their own thing. But it's getting really interesting when the balancers themselves are like revealing like inner flaws and revealing inner turmoils, especially we're getting that with Kaiki. Because then it's like, dude, and it's making me think of the whole growing up thing. Like it's like we're like Kaiki who comes in and feels like he has such a handle on everything. Like we're growing up, and as we grow up, we realize, oh, Kaiki's not perfect. Kaiki doesn't have a handle on anything. Kaiki's just as, if not more stagnant than Araragi, who we were thinking was the big issue. So like our very, like as much as this story's about growing up, like we're growing up with the story. Yeah, you hear me? Oh my goodness. And then everything starts spinning, like he's spiraling, he's losing it. It's funny, the thing on the wall is like this weird like visual illusion. We're playing with illusion so much. Man. Snakes, look. At the top, everything's turning into snakes. That's cool. It's like, man, and when he stands up and Ononoki's gone, he's walking towards the tracks, that got me really scared. And like red lights everywhere, like everything's saying no, but he's still moving. But the thing is, he's not like all that altruistic. Like he does bad things. This isn't perfectly true. He's exaggerating and he's exaggerating. He's being hyperbolic in a sarcastic tone, but it is rooted in truth. You know? He just, man, he doesn't want to be understood like this. And then it's cutting to his shadow, just like we've cut to Araragi's shadow a million times with Senjuga, or with Shinobu, bro. It's like Ononoki's now the one in his shadow. That was a failure as well, man. Oh man, he's really going through it right now. Life is still long. Is it gonna be long, Kaiki? I feel like it's not going to be long. Life is still long. I'm going to continue doing my best. She does the eye thing too. The eye picture capture thing. But in times like this, you always fail. And then they're sitting together next to each other, right? Then this feels really introspective. I really liked it though. This was I really liked this a lot. Man, it's almost like a savior complex kind of thing where like he sees her as weak because he like a part of him wants to save her. So like to do as such, like they need to be someone that needs to be saved. Again, Araragi connection. Somebody said something like about that recently. Was it HANEKAWA that said something? I'm losing the line in my brain. The mother crumbled, but the daughter didn't crumble. I mean, that's got him thinking Kombaru and, Wait, no, but he'll be fine. Kaiki will be fine, right? Because he hasn't had his conversation with Kombaru yet. Kaiki's gonna be fine. Okay. Yeah, because Kaiki's gonna be fine. I feel like he could get hurt, though. It's gonna get close, and then he's gonna get saved by whoever's shadowing him. Right? Because Hana's in the future, and Kaiki's in the future. Okay, he's not gonna die. He's not gonna die. Okay, we put it together. Hana. Yeah. It's scary though. It's getting close. Like this is his dark night of the soul. Well, no. Clutch. Oshino clutch. Oshino / episode clutch. Surely. Shut up, Nadeko. Quiet. The mother crumbled, but the daughter didn't crumble. I mean, that's such a... It's crazy that all of his feelings are on Senjugahara and not Kombaru. Right? Just it being Senjugahara is crazy that's... Because I guess just personality-wise, that's like what really locked it in for him. Whereas Kombaru's like just the daughter. Or maybe he admitted to himself, like, I really can't be going for Kombaru. And then she just straight up says, you've been deceiving me, which is crazy. You're gonna deceive me as well. It's like... Now what, though? Are you just gonna kill him? You're just gonna hurt him, bro. You're gonna stab Kaiki, but just like Araragi's gonna survive. Because that's the Kaiki spirit. That's the Araragi spirit. Bet. Wow. The Ogi thing was interesting. HANEKAWA was putting together the Ogi situation really well. Which is good. Because at least somebody's aware, and somebody's making moves on that front. When both of you... Yeah, he was being so mean here. Because it's funny. Thinking that Kaiki's, like, gonna die or whatever, like, those, like, being really scared of his well-being, which is kind of the feeling that I think they want us to do right now, is what we've done with Araragi. We've done that song and dance so many times where he's like going to die and is getting hurt and it's like, oh my goodness, he's literally getting murdered. So it's almost like setting him up in the same way we used to set Araragi up before we got used to it, right? For the self-sacrifice part. But like even as he says, like, if you really want to save Sengoku, then you no longer have a time limit. Even as he says that, I feel like it's like a projection or a wish for that to be the same with him. Somewhere in there, right? Him going to the cram school is interesting as well. It's like he sees the cram schools burnt, and I feel like that's almost like like a showing to him of like, guess what? People aren't as stuck as you think they are. You know, like you don't have to be as stuck. And then he runs into Numachi there. Oh, this is crazy. I was so ready to see Numachi appear. I was so ready. That was information that may come in handy someday. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know that. I saw that. For instance, in the future, when I become... So even this, though, even this much confirms that, unless we thought he was lying when he says this, but even this confirms that he's going to be fine, because he says, in the future, when I become acquainted with Kanbaru, that's basically what happened in Hana. And even if we didn't know about Hana, we would still know that in the future he will become acquainted with Kanbaru, because again, he is the narrator for the story. So like, and I know like it could be a lie, but assuming we see this as the truth, which I don't see an express reason not to, then he can't die to Sengoku because then he couldn't become acquaintance with Kanbaru. Especially because this is such a random thing to bring in, of like, this really is just foreshadowing Hana. And I don't see another purpose to it. Like, I don't see why he would lie about this, even if we didn't know about Hana. Like, why would he bring up a new Machi and then just die, right? So, it's almost like, yeah, I feel like they're doing that same guarantee of safety there. Guarantee's a weak, not as strong as guarantee, but like a weak, like a weak promise of safety, just because, homeboy, like, could, like, we know this arc is full of lies here and there, right? But I'm not really trying to, so yeah, it's crazy too that, like, the Cat Hotel, Pog didn't even notice. We love the Cat Hotel. Bro, this is a nice hotel. I don't know why they were bashing on it so much. This is a nice place. Someone saying they are happy doesn't necessarily mean they are happy, right? You're so wise. You're so wise. That's true. Kaiki, what was your thoughts to that? Can you remind me? Oh, he was thinking, oh, she's thinking this based off her own experience, right? That's what this is? Yeah. I mean, it's true, and it is based off her own experience, and I agree with that. It's just like, Kaiki, what, do you disagree with it in some manner, I don't see why you would. You're quite the liar yourself. Maybe you just don't want to admit that you're not happy. You little Kaiki. It is funny, too, that he tries to infantilize her again. But, man, in the stoplight, it says green. It says go. It says you're safe to walk. It's crazy, too, because, man, it was saying red, you're not safe to walk, right when he was in the train tracks, which I feel like is the world and himself screaming at himself, saying, like, I can't, like, I'm gonna mess this up. It's not safe to continue, but then he walks into traffic anyways by going up to Sengoku. But then here it's green saying go ahead, which is, the damage that resulted from that. Yummy. Chicken. Bro, why did I have to look at the different stores? Now I'm hungry, I want chicken. Steakhouse? Oh my goodness. Thrift shop. Thrift shop. To think that she dragged the half episode into all this. Why do you care about episode? It is funny, too, that he says what Gon Senpai, and then he corrects Gon Izuku. That just shows that Gon Toei's on his mind. That is funny. Well, this is fun. It says water meter, no excess weight. I mean, that just makes me think Senjugahara with the weight stuff. I wonder if that's like a very mini analogy there. It's really one huge mess. It is a bit of a mess, isn't it? I really liked this idea too. The spiritual chaos predated the arrival, and she showed up because of the spiritual chaos. When the town's out of whack, the oddity appears. When the self is out of whack, the oddity appears, You're right, like, Hachikuji appears to people who are lost. She doesn't appear to people to make them lost. Right? It's the same thing. That's super sick. I like it. Hanekawa, you're so smart. I love her. That's why she wanted to place a new deity. To restore balance. Since Araragi-kun flat out refused, a god was created out of an... So he refused to make Shinobu into the god. He refused that. Could it be he doesn't want to abandon Shinobu? He doesn't want to lose Shinobu. That's very realistic. It could also be, like, him having some sort of fundamental disagreement with having a god of the town, which would be, like, which is Gon's attempt to bring balance, but like, does having a god of the town even bring balance? Or, because I mean, you can get into some crazy ideas there, of like if one figurehead is the way to bring balance, or if like the discord itself of existence is what brings balance. And I know that sounds crazy. What is it? There were some like pre-Socratic Greeks that talked about that. I'm just the philosophy mindset from earlier, from reading the word phenomenology, man. But I'll stay away from most of that. Wait, who is the guy that said that line that I'm thinking of? Oh my goodness, it's gonna bother me. Pre-Socratic Greek guy. I'm trying to think, and the only words that are appearing to me are Hachikuji. Stop thinking about Hachikuji. Heraclitus. Was it Heraclitus? I'm sorry. I'm taking this one. Heraclitus, Greek philosopher. Didn't he have like I mean, he had a couple bars of like, no man walks in the river twice, for it's not the same man nor the same river. I'm pretty sure that was my boy Heraclitus. Shout out Heraclitus. Remembered for his cosmology in which fire, blah blah blah. I don't care about that stuff. Heraclitus. Discord brings balance. Let me just try that. Right here. Heraclitus quote: "Opposition brings concord. Out of discord comes the fairest harmony." Right, and it's been in. I'm sorry, I'll make this quick, but it's been like one of the analogies that I think he used was like a lyre, which is like the stringed instrument, and then the bow of the lyre. That like the bow gliding across the string of the lyre, the discord of that, like those vibrations, is what causes the most beautiful music to be played. That kind of thing. So like it could, like, is there perhaps a fundamental disagreement of that level of order within the city? Because then that would be like saying like the self needs that much order, and like ordering the self perhaps isn't the best idea. That's a big question in philosophy stuff of like, you know, which is why I mean, I'm thinking of the Republic, which I brought up, which is a Plato book. There's big ideas in there that like the Republic, you have like the philosopher king, the ordering of the city, and that is a big parallel to what Plato in that writing was believing should be the ordering of the soul. You can try to make that argument in the Republic, but it's a very ordered type, and I've heard some people disagree, saying like, no, the soul, the self, shouldn't be that ordered. It's more of an experience-based thing. It's more of a becoming, blah, 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 rather than as something that should be that, you know, arranged so specifically. So perhaps Monogatari is trying to get into some of that, but with Araragi disagreeing, I think it's probably for him more of a, I don't want to lose Shinobu because I've been losing everybody, and his attachment to Shinobu is like causing the issue. But I mean, part of me thinks that having a god at the shrine, like Gon, like, is that really the right move? I'm not super confident on that being the right move, because what does having a god at the shrine do, right? Like, or is that the argument? And like, if that's the argument, then I'm down, and it's an interesting argument of like having somebody at the top to bestow balance is how you balance. But I'm more personally a fan of the Discord, the chaos, and the Discord. Shout out the Discord. Oh, we sneak those in. But yeah, sorry, mini tangent. Yeah, what was this? It's not that he lost a family that used to exist. It's like it wasn't like they left home or anything. This is talking about Oshino. And then he was just born to be all alone in this world. What? I mean, dang, right? It's just that's what Araragi wanted to start Kisusu, but I'm not really seeing that, like, I don't know, that connection's not jumping out to me. By the way, come to think of it, there was such a story in the middle of the conversation. What? Kaiki? What does that mean? Also love how they constantly do the, like, you know, or the, like, that kind of stuff. It's just so fun. The closet. Kaiki, tell me what's in the closet. Why wouldn't... Because, like, I guess it's kind of a fun point in that since she told Araragi to never open it, it's something that, like, because, like, Hanekawa had said she never really loved anyone. So, like, having something that even he shouldn't open is like her saying, like, oh, there's parts of me that I will never show anyone, you know? Or like that really does kind of cement the she's in her own world idea that Hanekawa put out, because it's like the closet is her world. She's in her own world, you know? On the topic of trespassing. Closet, huh? I didn't notice. And then he had a line here. So he's just being a rat. I don't know, but if he's trying so hard to keep it a secret, maybe something very valuable was hidden inside, or maybe nothing very valuable was hidden inside and it was just her demanding space for herself. And the lack of anything is why... Yeah, nothing inside. The lack of anything is why Kaiki said, like, what the hell? Like, why? There was just clothes in here. There's nothing in here. Like, why is she hiding this? It's because she wishes to have her own space. I don't know. I like the idea that it's something so insignificant that won't do any good. I like the idea of it being nothing. That's a funny idea. Yeah, because if he blurted that out, then it would have kind of proved that he did see it. Such an insignificant thing. Well, now that makes me think that Kaiki seeing it as insignificant means it is so significant, but it's significant specifically to Kaiki, which makes him want to view it as insignificant because then, like, because of an attachment to Gon. So, like, maybe it's something that is like, I don't know, a journal entry that says, I will never leave Araragi as long as I live. Bam! Or like, I want to kill Araragi because I want to be with him forever. Just something, and I don't think it's going to be that specific, right? But something that he relates to in his relationship with Gon, which is why he calls it insignificant, and why when he says that it won't come in like it won't mean anything, and that's what makes it so insignificant, is actually foreshadowing that it's going to be extremely significant, even if he views it as insignificant because he's coping. Because a lot of this episode was Kaiki cope. He stand, he sit. He stand, he sit. He stand, he sit. He move around. This random shot was fun too. Faithfulness check. Think he's cheating? Call now. Because of the detective office, it finally became a reality. The ultimate faithfulness check, focusing on the divorce, is the final goal. Aren't you worried just by yourself? That kind of stuff. He's thinking of that. In what context? Oh, it's in context to tricking Araragi, with that choice that he's talked about before. But she like basically says no. What is this? That's true, but then if their lives are on the line, why can't she force herself to do something so minor? He views it as minor. He views something like that as minor. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. It's like he's like, a lot of those like ideals have been given up on. Oh, Kaiki. I've never bargained once. And then he gets lovesick, goes on the bed, and then he's like, fine, I'll go to work. Ononoki hits him with a bunch of his past trauma. Then he goes and he gets absolutely rolled after low-key, like, dumping some trauma on her. Saying, like, you can never trust words. He's, like, setting himself up for failure, you know? Because he's literally saying, the root of his argument for wishes, or for the wish thing, is like, okay, words aren't perfect. They will deviate from the feelings, therefore a spoken wish can never come true. But he's putting doubt on the very thing of language, on the very thing of communication. And then he's communicating to her right now. He's using words to talk to her. So it's kind of a self-defeating principle. Like, he's shooting himself in the foot, but like at the same time, like, you can have a commentary on language using language. It's just kind of always a little bit of going to be a flawed commentary because you're forced to use the thing you're commenting on, which kind of makes you incredibly biased just by doing it. Shout out commentaries on language. That's why I don't take words seriously. That's why I just, like, don't use pronunciation correctly half the time. It's because, like, words are just words. Like, they don't mean anything. I kind of like that philosophy. I do kind of like that philosophy. It's like a doom posting with language. And the cat cradle, like, breaks. Just kidding, he's just dropping it. It's funny, too, because it's different than what he said before, because he's previously said that his wish, like, oh, you want the wish? Like, it's for money. And he could, like, yeah. You can't trust words, of course. Bro. I wonder if he was promised something, and that's like a direct thing, where it was like he was promised that he was in like will be loved or whatever when he fell in love with Gon, and then Gon, her feelings changed, and he was like, wow, like she lied to me, I'm gonna lie to everyone. And then the car wreck thing, he really said it so casually, huh? Yeah. I mean, I saw this coming. Dang. Oh, Shino, where are you? Oh, Shino! Bark, bark. Hachi. Oh, karaoke! They're like all in a karaoke thing. They're singing the song of Hachi. Bro, remember Hachi's OP? That was the most unhinged OP of the entire show. That was so insane. Actually just like took a snort of a line of coke before you even made that OP. Dang. Okay, well, I'm really worried about next episode. Kaiki's gonna live. I think he's gonna be in a bad situation, and whoever's tailing him is gonna save him. It could even go into like him being hyper-focused on what's in front of him, so he's not aware that he was being followed in this instance. Could be that kind of thing. Who could it be? Episode Hail Mary Oshino, because why not? Like, he's been talked about a lot, and he's not overseas, so who's to say he's not here? Who cares? Go for it. Bomb, you know? Ogi Oshino. I gotta chew on you. And Hanekawa's getting there. Hanekawa's gonna be the clutch person to save the day, bro. Hanekawa's the clutchest. Did she... I wanna real quick just go over the last thing she was saying here. What was the context for you bringing out Kaiki's family? It's not that I'm worried about the deceit itself, but, you know... She's worried about Ogi. She's not worried about the deceit. She's worried about Ogi. How much has Ogi been a part of this arc? Koi episode 1? Ah! Okay. Humans have a desire for truth. He's telling me to doubt everything. Let's start the final story. Yeah, Ogi's just not a part of this arc. But that doesn't mean Ogi hasn't been making moves in this arc. Ogi? Ogi, did you talk to Senjo? Ogi, did you talk to Senjo? Who did you talk to? You talked to someone. I don't think you would have talked to Hanekawa, because I don't think Hanekawa would have listened to you, because I don't think Hanekawa trusts you, because Hanekawa's smart. You little ogue. Alright, well, I'm gonna just keep thinking about Ogi, I guess. Okay, but, I think that's all I really got, though, for this episode. Episode 5. I almost said 10. Episode 5 of Koimonogatari. Under the next episode 6 should be exciting. Of course, if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, blah, 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 comment all over the essay, or join the Discord and talk to me or other Monogatari fans there. Notification bell as well is great for new pings, for new uploads, because your boy's schedule do be more sporadic than it should be, plus streams, because I'm trying to do that every once in a while. But yeah, should be exciting. Really excited for the conclusion of this arc and for what comes next. Kaiki, my beloved, really togged out of my mind. But yeah, that's all I got for this episode. On to the next episode 6 should be exciting. I'll be seeing you then. Peace.